Man, I got all the favorite bitches say I'm delicious. I'ma have all you motherfuckers laying in ditches. I'ma kill all you rappers, I'ma aim with precision. They was rocking with your ass till they made a decision. All my friends making mans cause they know I'm my bitch. A lot of entertainers crash out to see the collision. That's it to make the money, I was great at the division. I finna take all your food and I'ma eat up the dish. Everything up off the table, I'm starving. See a nigga ball Steve Harvey. Blowing up the dome, no Sharpie. Working out, looking like a Barbie. Kid, better not red boy like Cardi. Yo, once I get smoked by Marley. This ain't no game, no Atari. Land moving fast like a talking dog.
1, 2, 3, still pro with the neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, hopping on the jet. Touchdown, NY, John on the way. Brown skin, light skin, she woke up today. Since I fly a lot, first tell Jacob that I need a watch. You know the ones with the color ice drops. Getting money, taking bets. Check my material on hella fresh.
Man, I got all the favorite bitches say I'm delicious. I'ma have all you.
That shit is really, really catchy. Hello, everyone. I'm Natred. Welcome back to another Natred Review. It is about 6 a.m. on 6/19/2023. I'm drinking whiskey and Jack in the Box Coca-Cola. My life is under control. Thank you for asking. So what we're going to be doing today is Dovius sent me this video a while back. I had previously reviewed some other sparring footage that he had done, and he kind of sent me this looking for more opinions. I've generally been pretty lazy, just kind of focused on my, well, not lazy, I've been very, make myself a little bit bigger here. Been really focused on my job and such, still here a lot recently, been getting back into fighting a lot more myself, so been doing a whole lot of that. I'm also not the biggest single sword aficionado. I feel like single sword really favors people who have worked a ton on their basics, and I am definitely not that guy. I am definitely more of like a trickster fighter. But I do enjoy me some good single sword. Ever since I started fighting, people had told me that, you know, single sword translates over into every other fighting style that you do. I think that's true. And so let's see what we have here. This is a 14-minute long video, and my videos end up multiplying the original video's length by 2 to 3 times. I don't want to be here for a 30-minute long video, so what we're going to do is just watch a little bit of this, see if we can pick up some patterns, see if we can establish some behaviors, and do a little bit of light, semi-drunken analysis. You gotta love the hip flexion. It's good. Get sat in.
A little bit, yeah. That was a good one.
So we have some good initial movement coming out here. Leading shots to establish the start of an interaction. So this is a product of Dovius being outside when he should be inside. If you look at where Dovius's hand is at right now, turned over, thumb up, kind of like pointed out. Theoretically, you're in a really good position here to exploit Stug's being really far outside. You could theoretically come over, cross body, hold contact with Stug's sword, step in, keep block him way out, keep him blocked out way outside. But we're just not in a good position to do that. So a good kill from Dovius there, but a lot of what I think plays into being a good single sword fighter is not caving your guard. And so here's what I'm talking about. Right here, both of these fighters have pretty, you know, half projected guards. And watch. So it's hard to see, but this tiny cockback here, right here that Dovius does, that's a little bit of caving your guard. Right here, bringing that hand back against the fucking chest, that's caving your guard. It works out in our boy's favor, but more extension. You don't want to be like full locked out, but a little bit more extension means more time, more possibilities to establish like angles. Remember, you don't gotta be brutally strong. You just need to be fast and powerful, and so you don't gotta be cocked all the way back. And even just then, I'm trying hard not to take tiny little micro interactions and make a big deal out of them. Look how far back caved we are on Dovius' side. and then we throw that shot into the hand. And this is literally just like a dump shot. This looks like a shot that's meant to actually hit the hand, just to initiate a bout, to initiate an exchange. And so what I'm seeing from there is that like you can still throw that same opener from a more like extended position. When you're back against your body, it's very time intensive to move around your like sphere that you got to protect. Whenever you're fully extended, it takes much less movement to block off those angles. You can also still generate force from out there. You don't got to be fully cocked back like a boxer throwing a punch. Yeah, I had another point that I was going to make, but it's gone now. Oh yeah. Also, already what I'm seeing just a couple bouts in is both of these fighters are trying to bait a lot. And something that I've seen a lot of really upper echelon fighters talk about is moving away from like feints, bakes, stuff like that, feints, fakes, baits, things like that to initiate combat, and instead actually throwing attacks. This like dump shot into the hand is never going to be an actual attack. We have Dovius here throwing a lot of bait, trying to get Stug to throw to his forearm. It looks like comes back in, guard cave. Looks like a high cross into the chest here that connects. Dovius with the hand extension. Tourney blocked the possible shot to the body that could have come in. And part of what makes the high cross such a mechanically weak shot is it has such a long return time to get back into guard. And like with Dovius with the sword in this position right here, it's really forcing Stug to coin flip. Like, do you stay high and catch what you think is going to be the counter high cross coming in? Or do you go low and concede the fact that if he does just high cross you, you die? And it looks like Stug decides to go high, block the expected incoming high cross, and instead the dude crosses low, Dovius crosses low, picks up the kill.
No! He's 20 feet within the building.
Again, talking about dump shots, exactly what I'm talking about. You know, okay, so this right here, this exact shot, this lateral chop shot, I do it a whole lot to initiate my fights. The way that you turn this from being a dump shot initiator into an actual like attack is either you can like try to like look like you can try to take Dovius, you can fake over to Dovius's left side, fake over here. You can kind of come over and then straight chop in, hoping that he'll follow you with his sword, exposing his forearm. You could like do a high flourish and then come in for a slightly lower load chop. So you actually have a little setup that's really doesn't take anything. Just literally do like that little Foshin movement with your hand, that little like round fake. Whap, bap, come in with that lateral chop. Basically, don't just be, in my opinion, the best fighter, the theoretical best fighter in the universe would never throw just a feint. They would always be throw like their feints, their bakes, their fakes. This kind of stuff would always have some lethality potential.
Good shot.
Good honor, good shot calibration, good tracking of damage there. So this is actually a really good example. So instead of throwing that flat chop again, you see this sword wiggle over to the inside here. This is a very small commitment setup. This is what kind of is going to set up that the incoming flat chop to actually be effective. And so you can argue with me like, oh hey, well you know you want to like establish patterns in your opponent's mind, so you can then break those patterns. So like you want to throw flat chop, flat chop, flat chop, fake a flat chop, go somewhere else. Like you want to establish a pattern then break it. That's fine, but you can still be establishing like there is a infinity of distance between a shot that's truly intended to be a dump shot and a conservative attack. Like what I'm kind of talking about is taking those dump shots and turning them into conservative attacks. Like sure, your conservative attack may only have like a 10% win, but that dump shot is designed to have a 0% win. way not to follow here. I've seen a few, mostly like amp background people, throw this shot into the hand that curls back in, and it's designed to really get you to follow them. And so, well done on Dovius here, just staying home.
Oh, my bad.
You're
Sorry.
good.
Yep, got caught moving straight in. And it makes sense. Like Dovius looks like to be a good XYZ pounds heavier than than Stug, who he's fighting. I'm a very corpulent, hefty man myself, and whenever these lighter guys try to like back out from you, it gets really tempting to just steamroll forward and chase them. Really, I feel like what I have to do to break that pattern is always be the one leading the conversation when it comes to how are we moving. If they are moving straight back, I just won't chase them. They're trying to move side to side, I'll move a counter rotate. They're chasing me, I'll chase into them, and we'll headbutt each other to death. Be great.
I feel it. It took a second.
That stab looked almost really nice. I love me a good stab. Yeah. Ducking inside, circle stab, looks good. Picks up the block though on Dovius's in, nice to see. Even stuff like this, I know it's small, but what I'm doing is I'm building a case to establish a pattern of behavior. This right here. Look at like where Dovius's elbow is at. His upper arm, I'm pointing like you guys can see. His upper arm here is almost vertical back against his body, which is the littlest bit of extension. This is telegraphing that somebody is scared. Their guard has like they're not scared, it's foam fighting, but they're worried. So their guard is caved in a little bit because whenever you want to defend yourself, it's natural to want to like pull in, press together, shut down. When really the most economy of motion, like efficient way, is going to be that extension, putting your guard out further into space so you can catch things on the way in and deflect. So, for example, like, you know, you may ask, like, okay, so if somebody's doing that, how do I exploit that? Throw cross-quadrant shots. Throw, like, you know, top right, top left, top left, top right, lower left, lower right, lower right, lower left. Throw those cross-quadrant shots. Put them, like, if they're establishing a pattern of behavior to where they're caving their guard into their chest, put them in a position to where they're constantly having to cross-block. Move that hand across their body, because as long as you are able to keep up the aggression, they're never going to have a chance to like break that movement and extend back out unless they are very, very, very good. And if they're very, very, very good, their guard is probably not going to cave anyways. Ooh, this shot kills me all the time because you boys got a gut on him. Little hand rise right here. Sword generally trending low on Stug's side in the couple seconds before this happens. Suddenly, vertical tip, big fear. Swing underneath everything. It looks like maybe trading an arm for that that lower torso kind of groin area shot. We're going to pause and talk about footwork here in a sec. I like that shot a whole lot. Just throwing right under the hand, hitting forearm. Also, is Stug wearing glasses? This looks like a cage for holding athletic lenses, but there's nothing there. I mean, maybe you know, they got contacts in, don't want to get hit in the eye, whatever. I mean, I'm pro just not getting hit in the eye, protective gear in general. Okay. So, footwork. What I'm seeing from these guys is a whole lot of, like, this kind of bouncing in, bouncing out. I'm not seeing one of these people being very clearly the tempo setter, forcing the other person to respond to it. They're kind of matching energy, and I feel like when single sword, how do I phrase this? The fewer tools you're holding with your hand, the more your body has to become a tool, a primary impactor on what's going on. And so, for instance, when I have a sword and a shield, I have I have a wide variety of tools available to me. I have a pure defensive plane that I can put places. I have an offensive plane, an offensive cylinder that I can do things with. You have this wide variety of tool sets, and that could make up for a lot of slop on body mechanics, on footwork, things like that. When all you have is a single sword, your body mechanics, your footwork, things like that, become so much more important. And that's part of the reason why you hear the phrase, or at least I have, that single sword fighting is going to translate over to every other kind of fighting you do, because that kind of shit transfers equally as well. And so what I'm seeing here, these fellows could be tired. Obviously, they're just sparring. They're not going whole hog, trying to blow themselves out fighting their bros, but I'm still not seeing somebody who is definitively the aggressor with footwork, somebody who is definitively on the defense when it comes to footwork. There's no role being established here. All that to say that I think their footwork is generally pretty equal. So talking about why having that good extended that nice extended high guard is good. Look at how many times Stug throws this fake here, this opener. Nothing, 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 nothing. It's crossing over the body repeatedly, trying to do this little flip shot. There's some variation, but it's all basically the same. 1, 2, kind of 3, kind of 4, 5, 6. So when somebody's doing something that often, you may not be present in mind enough to recognize it and adapt to it at that point. But if somebody has established the pattern for you that's the way they're going to open a whole lot, it's time to come up with a game plan on how to counter it. And if somebody is consistently going to cross their body to swoop back at you as their opener, that nice high extended guard is one of the ways that you can be in a position to, the second they start to cross body, you just hit them in the arm right when they do it.
Are you sure? Yeah, because I was still here when you hit me. My arm just followed her.
Oh no, they're talking about Amp Guard in the background. Cringe. No, I'm lying. I play Amp Guard too. But it is also cringe. I am cringe. We are all cringe. Yeah. See, this is kind of that's what I'm talking about when it comes to being aggressive with the footwork. Come on, Stug. You got this. Hang in there. Look at these Goliath steps in. Dome, dome, dome. Dome, 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 dome. Don't get captured just advancing forwards. Good post. Good leg. Hit it again. Hit it again. Hit him in the fucking leg. Oh, you son of a bitch. Breathe, man. Breathe. Alright, sus. A sus has been called. What do y'all think? Hand or nothing? My initial call was body. Hey, I look like you might have slapped the palm. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. We only got through about 4 minutes of actual footage, but the length of my video is getting quite long. If I had to give some general feedback to Dovius, it would be really tracing back to those two things I've been trying to establish, like the things that I am seeing. Don't cave your guard so much, and like to be fair, you're not the worst I've seen at it by far. I always feel like I say things like that, like I gotta qualify myself as not being, the best fighter. But I've definitely seen folks who will like tuck all the way into their chest whenever they get aggressed on. Focus on maybe being a little bit more extended wherever you're at in your head. Just think about being like 15, 20% more extended, really, because that lets you stay in the actual like pocket where the fight is happening, rather than like chambering all the way back here when you really don't need to be. And when it comes to footwork, if you're going to be fighting guys who are generally a lot lighter than you, a lot more athletic than you, you're going to have to find a way to neutralize their ability to both charge you down and circle you to death. And so for me, what I do is employ a very it's not passive because I'm doing something, a very defensive style of footwork where I will tend to back up a lot. I will back up, I will like take a step back with my front foot, circle out to the side with my rear foot, repeat, repeat, repeat. Never backing like straight up if I can help it. But when you're backing up, what that allows you to do is make people have to chase you. It takes that person who's quicker than you and it forces them into a single line of movement that you can now expect. It's not going to suddenly like surprise you. Excuse me. Also, because you're a taller person than this fighter, I'm not sure what your actual height is, but if you are somebody who ends up being taller than the majority of fighters that you fight, you're going to have some reach on them. Backing up, forcing people to run into your range, functionally gives you range over them. So I would say those two things. And especially because, like, if you're going to be backing up, you're going to be gaining even more advantage from having a nice projected guard. Work on that projected guard, and work on finding a system of footwork that allows you to dictate the tempo of the fight. For now, that's all I got. I'm going to get this one uploaded. I'll talk to you guys later.